the last line, Freddy's dead. And then it ends.
You guys want to move on now to New Nightmare?
Yeah, but it still pisses me off that she said Freddy's dead and it ends. But go ahead, yes. So New Nightmare and me have a long, weird history. So I...
weird like hell.
Not like me and Dream Warriors, but it's still weird. No, so I watched this movie on my Theo's Laserdisc. So when I first saw this trailer, I was like, I wasn't into it because I had just heard about Freddy's head glove coming out and pulling Jason's mask. So when I saw New Line Cinema, Wes Craven, and I'm like, oh shit, we're gonna get Freddy versus Jason. But then we got a swerve, and it went into some meta thing, and it was like the New Nightmare, and I see Nancy, which at the time I was all in because it had all my favorite ingredients.
Dope concept.
Concept. It had Heather Langenkamp, which is my girl, the best final girl in the history of horror. I'm standing on it. It had, of course, Robert Englund, Wes Craven, and it had John Saxon.
Yes, coming back.
All these elements that I love from part 1 and part 3 going into this one. And I like the way he looked. I like the jacket. I like the hat. I just liked the way he looked. I liked how the claw was part of his hand. There was a lot of things going for it. I watched it at my uncle's on the Laserdisc. I fell asleep. I don't know if I was tired. I was 19 at the time.
I think because we were young and we were expecting something else.
To me, it was so boring at the time. This is my initial.
Yeah,
right,
of course.
Right? So I was just like, fuck, this thing doesn't do anything for me.
Let me ask you something real quick before we go any further, though. Because you brought up a good point. Going back, correct me if I'm wrong, because again, we got, you and I, at different points in our lives, got them watching, Jason Goes to Hell, the final scene, where Freddy brings back, pulls the mask down, right? I can't help but to feel when there was rumors of a New Nightmare coming out before we saw the trailer for New Nightmare, right? Because I thought I heard rumors of a New Nightmare being production, and I think if I can recall to my recollection and being 18 at that time, thinking we're going to get the Freddy versus Jason, and what we got was.
So I thought it was just because I heard all the rumblings, or every time I would look at.
There was something about like a new Nightmare being
or like
Entertainment
magazine. They're working New Lines, working rigorously on
a New Nightmare.
Yada,
and so I think they weren't saying versus Jason, but we were kind of hoping that's
what it was.
It was going to be.
Yeah, because the summer of that came out summer of '93. And then I believe this one came out
summer of '94.
Was it summer of
somewhere
or October?
Somewhere around there.
Right. So I'm thinking it's got to be it because I'm watching the trailer. I forgot what movie it was. Maybe The Crow or whatever.
So I wasn't alone.
No,
been thinking that
my whole crew, like all my buddies and everyone that liked horror, but they,
And this is pre-internet, so we couldn't
just go to Twitter. So we were just kind of
like
IG.
We're all thinking with the same mentality. This has to be it. This is going to be
it. That's where we last saw the glove.
Okay, cool. Because then I wasn't alone then.
So I think I'm watching The Crow or whatever it was, and it says New Line Cinema, and I'm like, oh shit! And then the music or whatever, and then I see, and I'm like, this is it. And then it just swerved me.
Okay. But you didn't think it was dope though when you saw the initial trailer for New Nightmare at the end when you see Freddy come back, you didn't think the sinister look of him didn't captivate you?
I had everything I wanted. It was
just the fact it wasn't.
The fact that it wasn't Freddy versus Jason right away.
It was a letdown.
Okay, but it had everything else that I liked.
Okay,
from Dream Warriors to Nightmare 1, had everything that I liked.
Okay,
right. I just named them all, and so I was all in. But I didn't see it in the theater for some reason, and then I saw it on my uncle's Blu-ray '95, and I just fell asleep. I went back to the franchise right after Scream, and at the time, me and my girlfriend that I lived with, we were knocking out every franchise, right?
After you were just knocking it out?
Yeah, knocking it out and then knocking it out. And so again, I just remember falling asleep on New Nightmare. Fast forward years later, I get the box set, and again, when I was going to do my review, on the big three, my solo one, Santana could put the clip up wherever, I just said it's a wonderfully made movie. A lot of people have it in their top 3.
Yeah,
a lot of people have it in their top 2.
I remember we were so confused by that.
I was so confused. I never got it.
We never got it.
This time around, I said I drank 2 cups of coffee. I turned my phone off. and I gave everything to it, and I do like it more than when I've seen it. The most I've ever liked it the whole time it's been around, 31 years or whatever.
Why is that?
I
Is it because we're getting older?
I think it's because I paid it. I don't know what it is.
You said it right there.
Maybe I paid attention.
We paid attention.
Yeah.
You saw, how we talked about earlier.
And I realized that it wasn't really a Freddy movie. It's more of a Heather Langenkamp vehicle. Because she takes up, and in a great way, because again, she looks the best she's ever looked. Her acting's the best she ever acted.
She was
amazing.
Gorgeous.
She was gorgeous. Her eyes sparkled in that one. You know what I'm saying?
She does have amazing eyes.
Yeah. So she was at her best. I mean, she was so good in New Nightmare. It just took it to another level. This was her movie. This was like Wes Craven and Bob. This was like them giving her, here you go. You know what I'm saying? And so she really just carried that movie on her back. And then the little guy, what's your son's name? Is it Dylan? Dylan, he does his best, kind of like Danny from The Shining.
Yes, I got Shining vibes from that. You did really good on that.
But I mean, it's a better movie than I remember it. I think the next time I watch it, I'm going to give it even more. I'll still continue.
You think it's going to grow on you?
I think it's going to grow on me. I always love Freddy's look. I always love that they changed it up.
This might be my favorite look of him.
Really?
Something about the eyes was just so sinister. And again, as ghoulish as he looked in 1 and 2.
See, 2 is my favorite look.
He just looked the most sinister in this one. Okay. Something about his eyes, the look of it was just...
Miss me?
Yeah, just pure evil.
Just pulls out, you miss me.
It was just pure evil. And I think Robert Englund delivered on this one.
Yeah.
And even Robert Englund, from what I
that's his favorite one, right?
It could be. From what I researched, I believe, from what I researched anyway, of the New Nightmare, this was one of his favorite ones, and this was his favorite makeup in terms of how he came out looking like Freddy.
I like the trench coat thing. I thought that was
dope.
I have a Dixon shirt of Freddy, and it's the New Nightmare color scheme. But yeah, no, I dig this one more now, and I gave it 100%. I didn't touch my phone. I was wide awake, and I just wanted just to give it. Heather, she just killed it. She was just so good in it. This was her movie more than it was a Freddy movie.
So a couple things about this one. So this came out in 1994. It grossed around $19.8 million on an $8 million budget. So it had a slightly less budget than the previous outing. It was based on a lot of it was very meta. Craven did something that hasn't been done before. Went very meta on it.
Right. Pre-Scream.
It was going back to Nightmare 1. Heather Langenkamp put a lot of herself into Nancy based on the description of what she got from the screenplay. Langenkamp. I'm sorry, my apologies on that. She put a lot of herself into Nancy. So Wes Craven really built this movie around Heather herself because her and Nancy are really inseparable at this point because she put a lot of herself into that character. So much that even her husband Daniel was based on her real life husband, who's a real special effects artist. Dylan was inspired by her son Daniel. A few things here. The Tyrannosaurus Rex that her son used to keep Freddy away. The actor Miko Hughes actually kept it. The one with the scars, he kept. Wes Craven kept the one that wasn't scarred.
He's in a movie with Bruce Willis that's really good. I think it's Mercury Rising.
Going back to remember the scene where he's on top of the rocket ship in the park?
Uh-huh.
So Michael's dad was also a special effects artist. Bought that rocket ship and put it in their backyard.
Oh, nice.
The actors Jesus Garcia, who played Rod from Nightmare 1, and Tuesday Night, who also played Kristen in Nightmare 4, played themselves during the funeral scene. This is the first time where I thought the portrayal of the demon was exactly what Wes had originally intended. And I thought that came out perfect in this, and we just spoke upon that.
The use of snakes in that really fuck with me because I have a fear of snakes, bro. And they use snakes a lot in this one, and they fuck with me, bro. I was like, oh.
Is that so Indiana?
Yeah, it is. It is. Snakes.
And
why did it have to be snakes?
And the original working title for this was actually A Nightmare on Elm Street 7, The Ascension.
Yeah, that's too wordy.
But Bob Shea and New Line Cinema didn't want the title Nightmare 7 because they felt people just wouldn't come and see it because it's already been one nightmare too many. So they felt so they went with the title New Nightmare.
Which I'm not crazy about because new on anything is never good. New Coke wasn't good. There's a tag team called the New Midnight Express. They were dog shit. The New Road Warriors were not good.
New Blood?
Huh?
New Blood? What about?
New Blood from Friday? You like the New Blood?
No. That's different though.
Oh, okay.
No.
Friday is different.
No. It's New something or another. So it's New Midnight Express, New Road Warriors, New Nightmare. So New Blood is something different. This New Blood.
But it says new in front of blood.
No. You're reaching, brother.
I'm gonna call horse shit on this one. But
the New Adventures of He-Man. Come on.
Yeah. Okay. That was
all right. There you go.
New Coke was whack.
New Coke was whack. You know. Go ahead. Sorry.
But with this movie, I really do feel like Wes Pine said, yes, Freddy Krueger is actually a demon. Freddy Krueger is the name that he gave the demon.
This is your mind canon.
In my mind canon. Because even there was a scene in there where Heather's falling through. The Blu-ray did a lot to clean this up, by the way. She falls. What I looked to be a fun house demon, and when I looked at it, that wasn't Freddy. That's actual a demon. Because you remember in Roman times, you'd have sculptures of different gods and what have you, good gods and bad gods. Right. What if this dream demon was a god from the Roman times, right? That had his own little sector, however Roman gods work, right? Because why is it that when she falls into his world, you see a lot of ancient Roman-like structures and pillars in there?
I didn't notice that.
I noticed that. So I wonder if this was just an ancient demon that would invade Wes Craven's mind.
Like a dream demon. That's what Freddy is.
That influenced Wes Craven to actually create the Nightmare.
That's what he says when he's writing the script.
Yeah, like and that since they're no longer making Nightmare movies, the genie's out of the bottle.
Right.
And now this demon wants to get out because he's no longer, something about him is not being represented right. He's not being worshipped. He's not being acknowledged.
Right. So this would be a side story. Like so if you were to do a marathon, where would you watch this?
All right after Freddy's dead, because to me it's just this almost feels like an.
So you're just all about like 1 through. You don't mix and match nothing.
No. Well, here's the thing. Oh, we can get to that with Freddy versus Jason, but in this one, I guess in the series, it kind of feels like there's Freddy's dead at the end of the series, right? Mm-hmm. Wes Craven came back to kind of put his little epilogue, like his touch, like, hey, we're done with the series, but I had one more thing to say about it. That's how I kind of feel about it.
What's your initial response when you first saw this in '94?
I didn't like it. I rented it. I was so excited. I didn't get a chance to see it in movie theaters, so I did rent it on VHS, and I was bored the fuck out of my mind. I was like, oh, I wanted something. Because when we saw the trailer, not together, of course, because different times in our lives, but when I saw the trailer, like you, I'm like, oh, this is going to be so fucking good. This is going to be what I did not get in Freddy's Dead. Right. And what I got was something much more mature and slow-paced, and it wasn't... I wanted a hardcore balls-to-the-wall slasher, and that's not what it was. And unfortunately, for many years afterwards, I didn't get that expectations on my mind. I was not looking forward to reviewing this movie for this episode. In fact, I was like, fuck, it almost felt like a chore.
Right.
But
until you watched it.
Until I watched it, because like Nightmare 5, I removed any prior opinions or expectations, and I just let the movie breathe on its own and tell me what it should be. And I thoroughly enjoyed this. This was great movie making. This was smart movie making. Maybe because I'm an older man now, I can appreciate the slower pace of it and not have that expectation of a balls to the wall. Let me just tell me a good story. Yeah. And I finally paid attention to the story, and it is genius. It is great. And I'm the one who slept on this one.
Right.
I slept on this one heavily.
Right.
Wes Craven did want to kind of touch upon the Freddy phenomenon, that how just kind of like
in the late 80s, yeah.
Just kind of like, now that we're done with the series, just kind of take a look, like, wow, look how big this thing became from one movie. That's how this started off at, right? And when it being so focused on Heather was because, again, it comes back to her and the demon that he called Freddy Krueger. Right.
Which is the arch nemesis, like, they have the Laurie and Michael thing going.
And he explained to her, you have to fight him one more time. And it was so meta that everything that was going on in her life, he was already writing it. Yeah. And there was a surreal aspect.
She acts so good in that one, dude. I love the way she acts in that one.
So, which now brings us to Nightmare 8, or what most people know as Freddy vs. Jason. This was directed by Ronnie Yu. It grossed $116.6 million on a $30 million budget. Ooh. So definitely the highest budget for a Nightmare film, but it was a combination of both a Nightmare on Elm Street and a Friday the 13th movie. Right. So you can kind of...
the love for both franchises definitely represented, both showed up.
Both got $15 million for their part to make this movie. Mm-hmm. It starred Ken Kirzinger as Jason, because at the time he was 6.5 feet tall, so... He was only
6 foot?
6.5. No, I'm sorry about that. 6.5.
6'5".
6'5". My apologies on that. And I guess so.
Because we wanted, what's his name?
I'm having
we wanted
Well, yeah, you wanted Kane Hodder.
Yeah,
Kane Hodder, and he's 6'2", but Robert Englund's 5'8", and I guess from what Ronnie you was saying, when they were looking at it, they needed something to show on the screen, significant height difference, and I guess between 5'8" and 6'2", you couldn't get that clarity enough.
Yeah,
so which always kind of baffled me because Freddy projects so big. I always thought Robert Englund was like 6'3" and skinny.
But he was supposed to be a small ghoul of a person, though.
Right, but I mean, but I'm talking like in my mind canon.
Yes, agreed.
He's always slender and tall, but it's just because he projects so big.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Where Jason's always been this big hulking tank of a character.
Yeah. What's his name? Kane Hodder. He was a little stumped why he didn't get offered that.
Yeah, and
a lot of us were. I would have.
It hurt me that he didn't get it.
I would have loved to have seen him and Robert Englund together. I mean, I'm sure they could. I don't know if it was just. Who knows why? Because with me, you can put him in boots that
right,
raises him up a little bit. There were things they could have done. I don't know why they didn't do it.
He was so in tune with that character at that point, man. The good that he could have done. Yes. Freddy versus Jason is just. I mean,
yeah,
man, it was a missed opportunity. Yeah, nothing against Ken. Ken did an amazing job.
Right. Oh yeah, no, he did his thing.
It's just that Kane Hodder. He really took ownership of that.
Well, let me ask you
character.
this: so they kind of make Jason a little bit sympathetic out of the two.
Yes, they had to.
Kane can never make Jason sympathetic.
Agreed. Because
I think that might have been. You think that might have been one of the reasons?
That probably could have been one of the reasons
because Kane is so menacing that Freddy would look like the one that's sympathetic.
And Kane wouldn't back down from he protects the Jason character. So, and again, they had to kind of. They really did their work. Like, how do we make this work? Like, how do you get people to root for certain things? And that's why they looked at different aspects, the pros, their weaknesses and strengths of the characters. Speaking of the characters, this is Robert Englund's last official on-screen portrayal of Freddy Krueger.
On the big screen?
On the big screen.
Okay, yes.
I mean, he's done conventions, but he's retired from doing conventions.
No, but he also did the Goldbergs.
Yeah, he did the Goldbergs in 2018, I believe, right?
Yeah. 2019.
And the lake that they used for Camp Crystal Lake was the same lake they were filming X2 X-Men United on.
Oh.
And both crews stayed at the same hotel.
Oh, that's cool.
And Bryan Singer himself at one point kind of just walked on over to the production to kind of check things out a little bit. So that's kind of cool that both,
I love both those movies.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was just cool that they were both filming at the same time. We were kind of just hanging out at the same hotel. Yeah. Now, here's kind of a sour note. Monica Kenya, who played Laurie, kind of shit in the movie, and she was been quoted saying she thought the screenplay was awful and only took the role for money and to raise up her profile.
Wow.
And that was kind of disappointing to hear. It's like it's like this movie. This is her big, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, but I think this is her biggest movie.
Yeah, because I don't remember her in anything else.
Neither do I. And you had two franchises with rabid, fans. It's like, why would you? It's okay to feel that internally. I don't expect you to like everything that you do.
Right.
But kind of keep that to yourself, though.
Right.
Because it feels like a shot to the fans who I liked her. I loved her as Laurie. I
didn't know that, so you said it right now.
And so it
kind of tarnished it a little bit.
It does, because when doing my research, I saw that I was like, well, that's kind of a dick move.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, but maybe articulate it in a different way, or just keep it to yourself. Right. Like you kind of shit on the fans, and you're looking at fucking three of them right here. This crossover has been in the making since 1987.
Yeah.
In fact, the New Blood was really them trying to, instead of getting the New Blood in 1987, they've been trying to get
88.
Freddy. 88. My bad. New Blood should have been Freddy versus Jason, but neither New Line or Paramount were willing to budge on how they wanted their guys to be portrayed. So it took a long time.
Yeah, so quick question. So you thought, I remember we talked about it, Santana, when we did the Friday the 13th one, you thought that if it did come out in 88, it would have been whack. Do you still think that now?
If
Freddy versus Jason came out in 88, it would have been whack.
Did I say that?
Yeah. You're like, I don't think I think it would have been whack. The graphics you thought would have not held up.
I don't know. I think if New Line would have been in charge of that, I think
Paramount would have had to front the bill, because Paramount was way bigger than New Line at the time.
But New Line was still putting a lot of money into Freddy, and they made sure the special effects came out good.
Yeah.
I think it would be a toss up. I think there's a chance it could have looked whack, and I think there's a chance it could have came out great.
Yeah.
It just depends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the times too. We might be like, oh, that is cool.
It depends if the politics would have
Yeah.
worked out,
Yeah.
but again, too, it didn't work out for whatever reason, and I'm glad it came out in 2003 because I just was fucking fantastic.
Yeah,
I
no,
love
so
that
good.
one, dude.
So good.
Shout out Kelly Rowlands, who's
Oh yeah, she was funny in that.
insane.
I liked
dude.
her in that one,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
And she looked hot, too.
Yeah, no, everybody did their thing in that movie.
Jack Ritter.
Yeah, Jack Ritter's son. I mean,
He was dope as well.
Yeah,
And
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what? It
Hell
took him, not only did it take him, since 87 to try to get this right, it took him 17 scripts.
wow.
And 18 scripts. Of the prior 17, what they weren't getting right was the last 2 screenwriters that came in said, you need to acknowledge the prior movies.
Right.
If you do that, the fans will love you.
And that's what happened.
And that was the aspect that was missing from the other 17 scripts because they were just trying to figure out ways how to get them
Yeah.
to fight,
Right.
but they weren't giving credit to
Right.
their beginnings.
Yeah. Shout out Bob Shea too. He had a cameo as the principal.
Yep.
Yep. Sorry, V. Go ahead.
No.
Keep going.
No. So, and you know what? During the test screenings, did you know that the ending was left out?
Yeah, because okay.
There was a text that, hey, come back August 16th to see who finally wins.
Right.
So they got to see the movie, just not the ending of like
Oh.
who actually won.
I thought you were going to talk about how they were thinking about bringing Pinhead in.
I think for like a sequel or something.
No,
but-
no. Well, the final scene was going to be. They talk about it. Pinhead, like with his tentacles, grabs both of them and like, is there a problem here, boys, or something?
I
like
heard that as a rumor, but it's never been
It's
actually.
on the Never Sleep Again.
I might have missed that. Thing.
Yeah.
I watched because I watched it recently, but maybe I didn't see that part of it.
Yeah, they
So
talk about it. They that they were going to have him. What's his name? Doug Bradley.
Okay.
Reprise his role as Pinhead and just like, is there a problem here, boys? Type shit.
Correct me
Which,
if I'm
but
wrong.
I think it would have been too expensive.
No. I think you're right on that, and I don't think they owned the rights because didn't Dimension
Yes.
Pictures own it, and it was more of a right because New Line already had the rights to Friday the 13th.
Right.
It was. I think it was going to be.
Well,
those
they didn't
two
have the
things.
rights to Friday the 13th. They had the rights to Jason Voorhees.
Okay, right. But they couldn't use Friday the 13th. But again, we know Jason is Friday.
Right.
It's just
Jason X.
yeah. And this does take, chronologically speaking, this does take place after Freddy's dead and after Jason Goes to Hell, but before Jason X. So this movie is canonical to both series.
Yep.
Shout out Jason X.
And
Yeah,
it
so
just-
if you do a marathon, you could watch both of them right after. So you could watch it after Jason Goes to Hell, and then you could watch it after Freddy's dead, and it fits both of them.
Yeah.
And the thing is, this version of Jason is only canonical to the New Line Jason, not to the Paramount universe of Friday the 13th.
Okay.
I mean, it obviously,
Yeah.
they do kind of acknowledge things that happen in the
That
Paramount
sucks
universe
then, 'cause
happen.
I really hate Jason Goes to Hell. So
You motherfucker.
Dude,
It is a
versus
great
Jason.
movie, folks. Don't let this man dissuade you. Go see that classic.
no, Jason Goes to Hell could go
It is
to
a
hell.
fantastic
Jason Goes to Hell
movie.
could go to hell.
Let me tell you, folks, you will not be disappointed.
Yeah, if you want to see Jason Voorhees, don't watch that one because you won't get any Jason Voorhees. Go ahead.
I think that's pretty much about it. Let me see if I had any
So
other notes on that.
when I first saw it, I saw it with my boy Albert. Shout out Albert. Man, I was just instantly in love with this movie. It covered every base I wanted. You got a little Pamela Voorhees. You got the Elm Street. I thought the kills were just fucking insane.
You know what? On Pamela Voorhees, they tried to get her, the actress, to come back,
Right.
and it just didn't work out.
Right. I wonder. I wonder why that was, because she would have been perfect in it.
I don't know if it was a pay or something, but
I mean, what was she? She wasn't doing anything at that point. It would have been like a gigantic movie for her. This would have been the biggest thing she'd ever been in.
I agreed. It just
Maybe
it's,
she was just older. Maybe I don't know.
what about the kills on that? You said you
oh
liked?
my
kills,
god, they
dude.
were insane.
Yeah, when he bends the dude backwards.
Yeah, it was
that
dope.
a great one. Jason got the most kills in this. Freddy got like maybe 1 or 2 kills, if that. Freddy got almost 1 or 2 kills. Jason got the good. Good.
Well, because he was a dog let off his leash
Right.
because he needed Jason to make people think it was Freddy,
Right.
just so they can remember him. And it was like that's what got Freddy involved. Like, dude, I need you for this, and now you're just out of control.
Yeah, like the part where they have to give him mouth to mouth.
Oh, that was hard to watch still.
Just-
Because I would do it, but I have, I don't have the lung capacity. That was Linderman. Linderman was dope in that too.
Yeah,
or
no,
when he twisted dude's head all the way around. that
Oh
was
man,
cool.
such a great kills, dude. That one I could watch even without watching any of the franchise.
Yeah,
I
you
could
don't-
just throw that
Yes.
on.
It does a good job of catching you up without having to see the other ones.
because
But
of the opening scene.
but it makes you want to see the older movies because of the
Yes.
footage, though.
That movie, the use of the blues and that, the
Yes,
nighttime
the blue and
stuff,
the red,
even,
yeah.
even the greens and the water fight in the dream.
And that was intentional because they wanted to play off of their strengths and weaknesses. And that was the first time I was like, oh, right, water would be Jason's weakness because
Right,
he
yeah.
drowned, which
Yeah.
they didn't really I mean, they spoke upon it in the first few movies, but that was never a weakness. But they had to figure out, like King Kong versus Godzilla. How do we make this work?
Yes, and it worked out.
Yeah, that was a great. I loved it, dude. The fight at the end on the water there, on the lake, and all that stuff was.
I like the Freddyisms because I like how they take more of the later movies aspect, the dream aspect of it. When he was playing ping pong with Jason, that was like so peak Freddy right there.
100%. Oh, yeah. Like go back to that Carlos scene, like the way he was just toying with Jason.
Yes.
Doing it is similar to like that, where he's just fucking with you first, then you're gonna go for the kill.
Or when he gets his arm cut off and he grows him back, goes like this.
Yeah. I bet you that was improvised by fucking Robert Englund.
And that's the thing too. Only Robert can do that.
Yeah.
Robert gets it. Like his timing on it, just knows what he'd be like when he goes, "Hey, asshole!" And he looks up. You
got to watch the commentary on that with if you haven't yet. Robert Englund, Ronnie Yu, and Ken Kirzinger. Commentary as you're watching the movie. Yeah. It's awesome, man.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna do that now. Yeah, now that you told me about that,
I need to do that.
I need to pop that in, man. Yeah, I got it here somewhere. It's part of my rotation, but
no, it's one of my all-time favorites, bro. I could watch that every day of the week. It's so good.
It is. The characters are good. The characters are well written.
I wish they would have maybe made some more, like even like we said with the Hellraiser thing, or even like maybe throw Michael Myers in the mix. You know what I'm saying?
My biggest disappointment was they didn't do Ash. They were so close to getting Ash.
Right, and I would have liked that, but then Ash would have been the main hero, and which I love. Ash.
Which he should be. He should be.
Yeah, but I like the fact that they kind of made Jason the good guy out of the two. You know what I'm saying?
And then you kind of get that a little bit. You do kind of get that, but you know what though, and it works because you can't make Freddy a good guy at all. Can't. But you can make him the bad guy you're going to root for though.
Yes. So yeah, and we've talked about Freddy vs. Jason on the Friday the 13th one.
I do like the fact though, going back to New Nightmare, the demon in him comes out when he gets really pissed. When he comes out, goes you motherfucker. And you just see the demon come out. Like to me, like that actually again acknowledges the New Nightmare. It's not really, we call him Freddy, but that's not who he is. That's just more of a demon.
I won't call this a gripe because I look past it, and it's not Kirzinger's fault. I wouldn't say just. They kind of make Jay look kind of dopey, like when he gets his fingers cut off and he's just but he is massive.
And then that's the thing. Kane Hodder would have not allowed that.
That's the thing. That's the kind of the give and take on that. Like how much Kane would be very protective on that, and I'm sure. Here's the thing with this: Robert Englund would be protective over Freddy, and I think it was better that they didn't do it because unless. Him and Robert would work.
No, they're friends. I
know that, but wrestlers will say, "Hey, I'm going to do something, do that." If they would allow those two to be in the writing process, I totally could see them
working together. And because they would, for years at the circus scene, they were just pumped about doing this. This is like their dream product.
Then you think maybe it was just
the suits.
It was just maybe the smartest way to go about choreographing the fight. Because let's face it, you have to figure out how they're going to fight.
Right. Well, he had to bring him out of the dream. Yeah. In the dream, like I said about Nightmare 2, which doesn't make fucking sense. In the dream,
this motherfucker, leave Nightmare 2 alone.
And
Jesse has been through enough distress. Damn it.
So I mean, when he comes out in the real world, he's weak. He's just a human. And Jason, that's when he.
Well, I don't want to say he's not weak. He took some blows and still was able to get up and go and just deal with it. Like
no human maniacal.
No human would have survived being amputated and still pumping blood and moving. No human would have survived with that big old that cold cart that hit him and knocked him into the lake. No human would have survived that. He would have been dead.
All right, so we'll close it out. Nightmare on Elm Street 2010, directed by Samuel Bayer, and one of the producers on it is Michael Bay. This one took a lot of heat. I saw it once. It wasn't memorable to me. What say you guys?
Well, I agree with you. I don't think it was memorable to me until I recently watched it again. What about you? I mean,
so I in the theater, I saw it opening weekend, and it was one of those ones that failed the take-home test. So when I watched it, the theater was live, was pumping. They wanted to see Freddy, and there was no. I guess maybe the diehards were just so happy to finally have a Freddy movie. Yes. That they were kind of, everything was hitting right. But when I got it and I watched it again, I was like, this is so boring. And it just, for a movie that's trying to keep you awake, it feels like it's putting you to sleep. I was all in on Jackie Hurley playing Robert,
Freddy.
Playing Freddy. Robert Englund was the one that was pushing for it because they were friends from back in the 70s. And I thought, because straight off the strength of The Watchmen, how he just murdered that role in The Watchmen.
Yeah.
To The Watchmen. I thought he was going to pull it off.
You know what's crazy though? To build on what you're saying right now on that, I think it's great that Freddy was the only one of the big three to get an Academy Award winner actor to jump in those shoes. That's how big Robert Englund's shoes are.
Right.
That it would only take an Academy Award actor to.
What did he win on?
Huh?
What did he win on?
I have to double check. It was a. Can you look that up for us, Mike?
Yeah.
But I do believe he did win an Academy Award when he came back into acting.
Right.
He done some movies, and one of them he got an award for.
Yeah, so he, I was all in on him playing it. I thought he was going to pull it off. He had the chops.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know what it is.
Was it because he sounded too much like Rorschach when he did the Freddy voice? Because I kind of got Rorschach vibes a little bit with the Freddy voice.
Looking back, hindsight, I didn't watch. Oh, sorry.
And maybe like Christian Bale Batman too, because it was like grimy, like.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I like the fact that they took it seriously. I like the fact that they were going with the more Nightmare on Elm Street 1984 vibe.
Yes.
It was just too much of a scene for scene remake. And like when you do that, it's
You're limiting.
Yeah, it's limiting. With this, you could really expand. And then they touched on the pedophilia thing and the child abuse shit. Like
it just you can't.
That makes it like a heavy watch.
Thank you. It does.
And so it takes away from
the fun
aspect, which, one didn't have a fun aspect. And to its credit, it was a heavy watch.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did they first try to say he was falsely accused?
Yes, and that's what pissed me off. That's really pissed me off. And then when they said, no, he was the fucking...
But see, I thought that was realistic because it was like, well, how do we know he even did it? That's typical. Like, that would be typical teenage thing. Like, how do you know where, because you did this, now we're dealing with this ramifications.
Right. And the girl who played Nancy, and she's an amazing actor. She was in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I'm a big fan of hers. But Nancy has a different type of personality.
None of the characters were likable in this one.
Yeah, they were not likable. I didn't care if they lived or died.
No, you know what? I wouldn't say that. I did like Nancy and Quentin's desperation to survive this.
I liked him because I like him in everything.
I didn't. I ain't gonna lie. I did not
like him.
I like their desperateness. Like I like the portrayal of these people in a desperate situation. I did not like any of the characters.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I like the actor who plays him.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's just something about it that I can't put my finger on. Where it's just, again, like you said, it's not a likable movie.
Is it the makeup that bothers you?
No, I thought the makeup was dope. That came out dope.
It's okay, the makeup.
Really?
I know
you didn't like because it was more realistic burn.
They went for the realistic burn,
and it worked. Because you know what, and maybe that's a good thing.
I mean, we're not talking about it. We don't. No one likes it. I mean, obviously, it didn't work.
Is it because it was such a heavy watch that maybe people were like,
that's what it is. I think it's they should have kept away from the child, because they were trying to be edgy. Well, they were trying to be different from '84, so that's why they went with that aspect.
But it was also the Wes Craven's original idea. So maybe they thought, let's try this concept now and see if it works. They couldn't do it in '84. Can we do it now?
And I think it's never a good concept in terms of if you're not going to take it in terms of a supernatural approach. That is such a personal, hard thing.
Yep.
To add that supernatural slasher element to it, it's kind of like
he's a dirtbag.
It's kind of a distasteful thing. You know what I mean?
And that's probably what it is. It's just too heavy of a watch.
Right.
It's just there's no likable characters, and it's just like I'm glad we got the remake, and I'm kind of glad that they went with that route, only to show like, hey, they were right in '84 not to take that approach. Like it showed, like if anything, it's like. We got
proved Bob Shea right.
Yes, we got our what if. Well, what if they would have this way? Well, look at the 2010 remake, and you can see it was the right choice not to go that route because this is too heavy. Like you're not gonna. He's a fucking dirtbag.
Yeah.
Like I don't like the dude. Like fuck that Freddy. And it's sad because Jackie Earle.
He's an amazing actor. He pulled it off.
He pulled it off. And here's the thing. And it's a well shot movie, well produced movie. Acting.
Yeah, because I mean,
there wasn't bad, but I wasn't moved. But I did like again Nancy and Quentin's desperation, and I did like Jackie Earle's portrayal of it. I did like the mom. I did like Clancy Brown, your dude from Bad Boys.
Yes,
I thought he was cool as a dad. I
do know that my dude got killed by both Freddy and Jason. The Asian kid. He was
interesting.
Yeah, he left a video.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, and
I thought the jump scares are well done though.
Yeah, I don't remember them, dude. That's the thing. This is an unmemorable movie.
But so thinking about that,
tell me about the budget.
So I was going to ask you before going into the budget,
go
though. Before going into the budget on that, is it because maybe this came in after all the remakes? Like, did it seem like kind of long in a tooth? Because it had the tropes. It had the tropes of all the 2000s remakes.
Yes.
And was it just kind of like been there, done that, and you just came too late? Like
maybe
Rob Zombie's Halloween remake was an interesting take. Whether you love it or hate it,
very true.
It was an original take.
The prequel aspect, yes.
The Friday the 13th remake was like a love letter.
Yes,
to the original.
and it gave you the first 4 movies in the first 10
Yeah,
minutes.
it was like a love.
That's a trip. That remake is people shit on it. I don't get it.
I never understood the hate that Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
remake.
Maybe maybe is it because it goes back? Like I said, it came out in 2009, and we've already had all these horror movies from the 2000s, both remakes and originals. Maybe people were just it was long in a tooth.
Maybe.
And then going back to Nightmare 2010.
Texas Chainsaw. That was another one.
Well, that came out before anybody else, though.
Right.
And that was so fresh.
Right. Yeah, but look what they did. They had the same formula, but they added little things like the sheriff, and they added little things.
But it goes back to what you said about you touched on something. It's just too much of a heavy watch for the Nightmare 2010.
Yeah.
You asked about the budget, so it made $117.7 million on a $35 million budget.
Damn.
It was produced by Michael Bay's Platinum Dunes.
It was a packed house that night. When I saw it in the theater, it was a packed fucking house.
It made money?
Yeah, it made money.
I texted you. Yeah. I liked it when I saw it in the theater.
He did. Because
when I bought the DVD, I was like, I don't like it
See,
anymore.
and I had to watch because I just had my daughter. So it was, I wasn't going to any movie theaters. Right. So I watched it at home too. I was like, okay, cool.
Oh, I bought it for you.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. You did buy it for me, and I watched it, and I was like, okay, it went back on the shelf, and I never watched it again. Yeah. It was kind of, at the time for me, maybe because I had other things going on, it was just kind of unforgettable, and it kind of goes back to how I was feeling by 2010. I already had a full decade of horror movies, of originals and remakes. I was kind of like, okay, been there, done that. Yeah. Watching it now again, it has everything going for it, but just no likable characters. And again, I know I'm repeating this, but I can't emphasize this enough. It's just too heavy of a watch.
Yeah.
But
that's fair. Yeah.
It's very fucked up though, because he's mad that they told on him. So makes it even more fucked up. Like he's going to kill them because of you told on me, which makes it even more fucked up.
Well, that goes to Nightmare on Elm Street 6, Freddy's Dead. He goes after his daughter because she's the one that dropped dime that he killed all the kids.
I thought he went after her because he needed her to come back into this world.
No, he was trying to get the main kid to get him to more kids to get his soul back
but he
strong.
found his daughter.
Similar to Freddy versus Jason.
But him being reunited with his daughter was by happenstance, by accident. He wasn't planning for that.
He doesn't go fetch little doggy.
I thought it would have been interesting if he was falsely accused and they killed him. And
that makes him the anti-hero, and I don't like that.
Okay.
Well, but see, it would make more sense because to me, as a man of God myself, it just doesn't make sense that you committed these sins,
motherfuckers.
Right. But it doesn't make sense that you committed a sin. You should be burning in hell. Why are you coming back?
Right. It would be
you should be paying for your sins in hell, but he gets to come back.
Right.
Oh, so you're saying it doesn't make sense that he comes back. Right?
Yeah, like you are this horrible sinner, yet you come back.
But if he was falsely accused, then he's not the sinner, so that's why he's back. That's what he's.
That would make more sense that you come back as a spirit of vengeance.
Right, but if the devil wants you to come back and fucking,
which is a valid point, which makes perfect sense on that. You know what I did like too? I know you mentioned they did a lot of scenes that they did in the first one. The only problem scene that I had that they remade that just bugged me, that kind of felt like out of place. It felt like it was shoehorned in. Was when you remember in the original when Tina was in the hallway and she's being lifted in the body bag.
Yeah. I
just felt they could have done with that. I felt like,
or when he puts his head through the window and he's just like moving so CGI 2000-ish.
To me,
you know what I mean? Like, the fuck out.
I was actually okay. Here's the thing.
Leave that alone.
I'm cool with. I thought the idea of trying to replicate
you don't need to do that.
But hear me out though. Hear me out on this one. I thought to try to replicate that or one up it in 2010 with new special effects was a good idea until I saw it implemented. Like I thought it was freaky when you see the head moving around, but when you see the arm stretched out, it was just bad CGI. Yeah. And so to me, I felt like he had something there. Mm-hmm. It just wasn't executed tight enough, and it failed. Yeah. Like it was there. Like it had potential to be dope. It just, like I said,
I like there's a scene I do like, and I think it was not in the original. Is they're in a diner. And he's stabbing himself in the neck, but he's trying to fight. I love that scene.
I don't love it, but it was cool.
Well, had they went in that direction where we're doing new shit, Instead of saying, let's do this old shit that they did better, let's do some new shit and make it grittier, grimier. You know what I mean? Go the Rob Zombie grimy route. You know what I mean?
But only Rob Zombie can do Rob Zombie.
I understand, but I'm saying I didn't say.
No, I know that, but you know what I mean. In terms of,
but let him go grimy. You know what I'm saying? Like like that scene with the knife in the diner. That was a grimy ass scene, and I think they should have went in that direction instead of the pedophilia. Just go with the child killer and just that type of kills. Where instead of going elaborate, go grimy.
Which in Freddy vs. Jason, real quick, they do identify him as a child killer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think they even touch on.
Yeah. Yeah. They kept it like he's for the New Line, the original New Line series. He is just a child killer.
Yeah. Okay. Which is I like that better.
I do.
It's the lesser of two evils.
Yes. It's not good either, but Frankenstein.
Yeah, I'm gonna remind you it wasn't good. I like that one.
But Frankenstein, and they were like, well, how can people like Freddy in the 80s and blah blah blah? He's a child killer. I mean, they loved it. Frankenstein in the 30s and the 40s and the 50s and the 60s. He killed the child too accidentally. He threw the girl in the water. So, that's this is one of those things.
Going back to what you're saying, what scenes you did like? I did like how they redid the ending with the mom. I like how he came after her from the mirror and then dragged her back in. I thought that was well shot.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
I did like that. I did like that.
Other than that,
it's just a forgettable remake.
No, I don't want to say it's forgettable. I think that the fact that it's so heavy-handed. No, not heavy-handed. That's such a heavy watch. People just don't want to remember it.
Yeah.
Like and
because I could throw on Friday the 13th remake any day of the week and have a good time with it. Your tits are stupendous. You know what I'm saying? There's so many quotable lines in there. You think I'm I just make rap music because I'm black? Then he's like, well, what do you make? Rap music. You know what I'm saying? Like just the little quotables on Friday the 13th. Even though I don't think they'd be friends in real life. That was my gripe when we did the Friday the 13th series.
Yeah.
But it's just a easy, digestible watch. And this one is just
the subject matter and his background is just how they went with the original background for him. And I know we're repeating ourselves, but I can't stress enough. It's just too heavy of a watch. Like you don't feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you kind of want to go into a horror movie where you're like just freed from stuff. Like you want to.
It's supposed to be a roller coaster ride. It's supposed to be a roller coaster ride, and you don't feel good about yourself.
It's just like, oh man, it's fucked up. But anyway,
so the Nightmare on Elm Street remake from 2010 was directed by Samuel Baer, who was a music video director. He did a lot of grunge music videos.
Oh.
His top one of the most famous ones that you may all know about was "Smells Like Teen Spirit" by Nirvana.
Oh shit!
He did that one, and he kind of like was the director of The Crow, who was doing MTV music videos as well too. He, coming from a music video background, this was his debut feature film. Was the night, and I thought he did a great.
Williams did videos, and then he did a big budget.
Yes, so he has a great visual eye, and I think it came through on this one.
Okay, so what do you think about the legacy of Nightmare on Elm Street, Robert Englund, and so forth,
and the whole Nightmare on Elm Street franchise?
The franchise itself, yeah.
So the legacy is it's if you look at like Stranger Things and you look at the most recent ones and how Pennywise goes after their fear and still the book came out around the same time as Nightmare on Elm Street the movie, so people always try to say which came first, that type of thing. But if you look at 2017, you can see the formula of the Nightmare series and the kids. You can see how Pennywise, uses their fears. Same thing with Vecna.
There's similarities.
Similar with Vecna and Stranger Things. So you could see the legacy. So the legacy's always going to be there. Now, in terms of Robert Englund, there's a great documentary on Amazon Prime. If you look up the name when you get a chance, you just see how much of a nice guy he was. So that's why, in terms of legacy, he just got the Walk of Fame. I had to be there. I wish you guys would have went to the.
I know you hit me up, but I couldn't get out of work.
How was it?
It was amazing, bro. The fans came out in droves, bro. It was people dressed like Freddy. There was so many Freddy merch. The cast from all the movies. I saw Danny from Nightmare on Elm Street 4 and 5.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I saw the Dream Child. He was there. He's about the same height as he was in the thing. Just kidding.
You're fucked up.
Kincaid was there. Boy, he was so far away. My boy Kincaid. I was like, go, pussy. Heather had a touching speech.
Because Wes did make a villain that could speak, and not only speak, but with wit and even eloquence. I will never forget the moment I saw Freddy come to life. It was in the back alley in Venice, here in California, behind Tina's house. They went down the alley, everything was smoky, cameras were on a dolly waiting for this moment, and Robert Englund, always rehearsing until they rolled the camera. He would work on his right shoulder, dipping a little lower than his left.
Eli Roth had an amazing speech, and then Robert just took it home. You know what I mean? He just took it home. The fans were eating up every word. It was just like surreal. I would have not have missed this moment.
You know, one of the happy accidents of a career in genre, whether it's science fiction or horror or fantasy films, is it makes you an international actor, which is just this great gift, you know. And I've done probably over a dozen films now in Europe. You can see some of them represented at the window here. That's me. There's my Russian poster, which is pretty cool, right, Eli? And that's just a great act to have in one's career, however many acts you get out of it. And I want to thank Eli. You know, I don't know if you guys just realize what a triple, quadruple threat Mr. Roth is, but if you think I'm scary, check him out in Night Always Comes. Okay, just an amazing performance with just a sprinkling of the master Anthony Perkins in his performance. And Heather, poor Heather, and I have been attached at the hip since 1984. Beauty and the Beast, you know. And I think Heather tried to escape Elm Street, and she wound up on American Horror Story. And then she tried to make another exit, you know, now she's in the world of Stephen King, you know. Always will haunt us, Heather.
I had the day off. When I heard that he was going to be in the Hollywood Walk of Fame, every chance I got, I was looking to see what date, because I wanted to make sure I took that fucking day off.
Yeah.
So, like Robert Englund said, he thought that John Carpenter was going to take October 31st. But John got it like in March of 2025. So Freddie was like, fuck it, I'm taking Halloween, bro. And it was fucking dope. It was on Halloween this year.
It's funny because John Carpenter should have taken the 31st.
He should have taken the 31st.
But I'm glad Robert got inside.
Right. And it was just amazing. The fans were rabid. One thing pissed me off, so we're waiting in line. I was in line from 7 to just get to like right from where it was to the line. Mm-hmm. And so LAPD was like, all right, your first batch go, and then we moved up. Second batch go, moved up. And then so LAPD starts talking amongst themselves, and then it's almost time for the speech time. And they're like, everybody go. And everyone just ran. So I stood in line all morning for nothing because
I'd be fucking pissed.
I was so pissed. And I was all the way in the back, and I was trying to get photos. I'll send you some of the photos so you could insert. But it was just amazing. It was like the last time our generation is going to ever be able to have a horror icon of that status of Bela Lugosi.
Yes.
Of what's the one that plays
Lon Chaney?
Lon Chaney. You know, say this was our equivalent, because yes.
Oh yeah.
You know, Kane Hodder was Jason, but he wasn't Jason the whole time. He didn't, exude Jason, you know what I'm saying? Even though we do love him as Jason, I prefer him as Jason. But a lot of people play.
Robert was there from the beginning.
Robert was there from the beginning, and no one could do it like he did. And it was just amazing. I was so happy. Getting to Los Angeles that morning was seamless, and leaving Los Angeles was seamless, which is like, you know, is rare, especially coming from Orange County. So it was amazing. So I think the legacy is secure. I mean, people keep, sampling little bits and pieces of Nightmare on Elm Street. And then, Robert's place is set as one of the greatest horror icons of all time.
I couldn't have said anything better.
Yeah. Now, as far as the future, I would love to see a Nightmare remake. If they could do a show, because there's so much meat on the bone with Freddy's backstory.
And they made, depending on how new Friday the 13th TV show goes.
I don't know who owns the franchise, but
I think New Line still does. I think Warner Brothers still technically owns the IP to that. Like, I think Platinum Dunes only could, I think they licensed out the IP. I could be wrong in that. And if I'm wrong,
so
sorry.
Let's do our ranking, and then we'll wrap it up. So go ahead. You want to go first, or want me to go?
No, I'll do the jump off on this one. Right. So here's my top. And again, these 4 movies all share top place because I can't put one over the other.
So they're all a 4-way tie.
Yes, it's a 4-way tie, and that's going to be Nightmare 1, 2, 3, and Freddy vs. Jason. I cannot put any of those 4 movies over one another. They have so many great qualities about them that.
So 2 is in your top 4?
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. That is just a great movie.
Your man.
That's just a great movie. Second place, and jumped up a whole lot from this last viewing, is the New Nightmare. Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
I can respect that.
And I can definitely see that, hitting number 1 spot at some point. And I'm not doing that dance, you motherfucker. And then rounding out the third spot would be, running out for the third spot is going to be Nightmare 4, 5, and Freddy's Dead.
All tied too?
I really
indecisive shit right
No,
there,
not
bro.
at all. You know what? Here's the thing. I really do like 4, 5, and 6. 6 and 5 have really gone up in rankings for me to where they're as good as 4, in my opinion. For me, they're as good as 4.
Okay.
And the bottom of the list is going to have to be the 2210 remake for the things that we got discussing, the reasons why for. I'm not going to go into those again. It's just too heavy of a movie for the reasons we discussed. Right. And that's my ranking.
All right, so I'm going to go from worst to first.
Okay.
All right. Elm Street remake. We touched on it. Dream Child, boring. I don't know. It's just boring. Freddy's Dead, the cartoon campiness, and just the way they ended Freddy's Dead, and then the credits. You know what I mean? And then I do like when they show all the highlights of the franchise. Blah blah blah.
That was dope.
Freddy's Revenge, for the reason we said. I just think it doesn't feel like it belongs in the franchise. It just feels like a Freddy's nightmare.
Jesse went through so much torment, and you're still shitting on him. You're a dick.
Again, watch the documentary, then watch his documentary, and then watch Freddy's Dead, and then you'll get a nice.
Apparently, the documentary was not enough to save this movie in your ranking.
It wasn't. New Nightmare. I like it more. The previous list, it was all the way at the bottom. Now it's right in the middle. I feel like the more I watch it, it's going to grow on.
So is this rank? So is this 4 or 5? The New Nightmare.
So. Well, we're going from first to
So what number? Okay, what number would be
3, 4, 5? It's 5.
Okay.
So and then in the number 4 spot, Dream Master, fucking great. And then Freddy versus Jason, and it's hard to put it in that spot. It was hard to put it in the 3 spot because I love it that much. I'm not indecisive. You know what I'm saying? I have my foot and set down.
Shots fired.
This motherfucker.
Get you straight.
Number 2 is for you, Corey. Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, 1984. This is my number 2 spot, and we already know what my number 1 is. Dream Warriors, not gonna dream no more. My number 1 is the best of the franchise, and every time I watch it, it puts me in a great mood, and it's one of my all-time favorites. So,
can you stand up a little bit? Let me see that shirt.
Oh yes. And it's inside. It's like the Warriors.
I'll show mine off too.
It's like the Warriors style.
And then we're going to do the Predator arm shake.
Vito, you son of a bitch.